Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello. Are we live? Hello, everyone. Okay, delayed reaction. Hello, everyone. Are you ready to live an inspired and empowered life? Welcome to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show on W4WN.com, Talk 4 Radio, and Talk 4 TV. We're live Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, and there's podcasts on iHeartRadio. Today, we're doing part 3 of how to create an inspired and empowered life. We're going to continue where we left off last week and learn how you can create an inspired and empowered life. Understand the ways which you can live an inspired and empowered life and find out what attitudes you need in order for you to transform your life. So, good morning. Good morning, Marie. Thank you for being here and so glad to see you. Hi, Allie, and hi, Sandy. It's so good to see everyone. Thank you for coming. Makes me happy, and I'm happy to be here to serve you. So we are going to find out more about the 3 principles to create an inspired and empowered life. Discover the number 1 mistake that would keep you from a life you love, and ask your questions and comments in the chat room. And if you want, you can go to the chat room on YouTube. You click YouTube Live, and that way you'll go right in if you're listening live. And if you're on the podcast or seeing this on YouTube at a later date, thank you for joining us as well. And allow yourself to open to receive an inspired and empowered life. So the last couple of weeks, I'm just going to review what we've been doing. Last couple of weeks, we did the 2 principles before the one that we're going to do today. And the first principle is all about connection and making a deeper connection with yourself. So it's connecting with your body, your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. Important, essential connection. And then last week, we talked about self-love and believing in yourself. And that is a crucial ingredient for an inspired and empowered life. Because if you don't believe in yourself and you don't love yourself, and there's my voice, and you don't love yourself, then you won't be able to allow yourself to receive all the wonderful things that life has to offer. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Glad you're here to join. And it's really about learning to be able to open to whole new levels of loving yourself and believing in yourself. And today we're going to be talking about the third principle. And the third principle is Intuition. I So here's the thing. I've had a lot of trauma in my life. I've had anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, low self-esteem, and I would not be anywhere. I wouldn't be doing this TV show if it wasn't for my intuition. My intuition guides me every step of the way. And there was a time when I would call friends, I would call my mom, and I'd say, "What should I do? I don't know what to do. I can't make a decision." Because I just was frozen in not being able to tune in to what was really what I needed and what was going on. And then one day I was sitting, and I used to in the mornings. I've had different routines through the years. And one morning I was sitting in front of my candles, being very quiet, and all of a sudden I got it really clearly. It's time to start listening to you and listening to my intuition instead of listening to everybody else around me. And that's what I began to do. And then I had good friends who really supported me to talk about intuition. And I started speaking about it, I started teaching it. And I'm happy to be here with you today to talk more about tuning into your intuition. And in order to tune into your intuition, and the reason why I did the three principles the way that I did was we need to be able to, each one builds on the other. We need to have more connection with ourselves, being able to ground, connect, feel our bodies. It's learning to have more self love and believing in yourself in order for you to be able to tune into your intuition. Hi, Cindy. Good morning. Glad to see you. Glad you're here. And it's really about learning to clear your clogs. And I've talked about this before, but this is what I had to do. And this is what I help clients do. And this is what I'm sharing with you, that you, in order to really tune in to your intuition, you got to clear your pipeline. So what does that mean? So I want you all to imagine that you are a pipeline to and from the divine. And you're just a straight pipeline because your body, imagine your body. Your body is the vehicle and the tool. Good morning, Darlene. Your body is the vehicle and the tool to understand, to know, to connect with your intuition. But what happens is that you can have clogs in your pipeline, limiting beliefs and emotions like fear, anger, guilt, shame, grief, frustration, that keep you feeling stuck because you have these big hairballs in your pipeline. Clients have called me spiritual Drano, clearing those clogs. And that's really what needs to happen. When you're tuning into your intuition, it's clearing your clogs. So what is intuition? So my definition of intuition, first, it's our gift from the divine. And every single one of us has intuitive abilities. And it's learning how to tap into yours. So you can see, feel, hear, know. You can sense. When I'm with clients, sometimes I go like this. And that may happen while I'm with you on the TV show too. So if I go like this, then you know I'm getting an intuitive hit, and spirit wants us all to know something. This is truth. This is truth. So what I want to ask all of you to take a moment for a second and ask yourself, how is the way that you connect with your intuition? Because understanding how you connect with your intuition is a really important part in learning how to really hear it better, see it, feel it, know it. So I'm going to ask those of you in the chat room to tell me if you're aware. So I'll give you a little example of what that means. When you feel it, you could have the chills or the bumps or the twitches or whatever you want to call it, like I do. Or there's the God bumps, the chills. How many of you put a yes in the chat if you get the chills? And you may get the knowing. Sometimes some of you just know. You get the ahas. And a lot of times when we're not thinking about it, that's when the ahas come. So you can get an aha. Or sometimes some people have the gift of hearing and being able to hear. Yes, Darlene says yes, chills sometimes, or swirling. God bumps. Sandy says God bumps. That's me, and deep knowing. Marie says knowing for me. So it's that knowing, you just know without a shadow of doubt. It's like, yes, that's the answer. That's the answer. That's the knowing, the ahas. And then some of you may get visions in your mind's eye, and you may get symbols or some kind of things that are going on in your mind's eye. When clairvoyants are tuning in to information, you may get a sense or a symbol, and they get that information through the visions or knowing. And I am grateful that I've had all those ways, or I have all the intuitive gifts, and I work on growing them all the time. It's not just one and done. Know that your intuitive gifts keep growing as you grow, and they expand as you expand. And the more you clear your clogs and the more you clear your pipeline, the better your intuition becomes. And remember, it's God's gift to you. I really believe that's the way the divine gives us messages. And Darlene, exactly. Nature gives me clues via feathers and spiders and finding dimes. Exactly, because the clues are all around you. License plates. I love the license plates. Or when I go into New York City, Manhattan, and there's the big trucks, or even when I'm driving and I'm on a drive, and all of a sudden I see a big truck, and the truck has a message, and I get a lot of messages from license plates and trucks, whether I'm driving or taking the train in or walking around Manhattan or wherever, because the signs come wherever. And like Darlene said, they can come through the feathers, the spiders, and the dimes. I've had clients say every time they see a dime or a penny, a nickel, they're like, oh, my parents are saying hello. So it's learning to look and find the signs, and being able to know that the universe is speaking to you. So how do you clear yourself in order to tune in more deeply to your intuition? And what can it do for you? Like I said, I make every decision now based on my intuition or that intuitive knowing. And I allow that information to come. And I will tell people, I'm going to wait on that decision. I need to meditate on it. I need to feel it. I need to process it. And we have Cindy who says, I've been working on getting my ego out of the way so I can hear, see, feel. Tuning in can be amazing. Thank you, Cindy, because that is so true. Yep, clearing your pipeline and tuning in. And that way you can learn to make those better decisions. When you're working with your intuition and tuning in to the decisions for your highest and greatest good. And the way that I define highest and greatest good is we live in a benevolent universe. One of my close friends, now on the other side, watching over us right here, right now. I know Christina is here watching over us. And she would always talk about the benevolent universe. And we live in that benevolent universe. And it wants the highest and greatest good for each and every one of us. And that's learning how to tap in to your ability to know what you need to do that's guiding you towards your highest and greatest good. The universe wants it for you. Your soul wants it for you. And then it's learning how to be able to go deeper into tuning in. And Marie says, during meditation, I get ideas from my book popping into my head. It's amazing. Each time I just know that it's a perfect idea. That's right. And thank you for all of your comments, because all of them are ways that we get the information that the universe is trying to send us. I also want you to know that it could come in dreams, How many of you ever had prophetic dreams or answers that come in your dreams? Or sometimes what happens, what I do before I go to bed at night is I ask, I need a clear answer. I need such a clear answer for this situation. And when I get up in the morning, give me the answer, please. So when I get up in the morning, I am able to tune in and tap in, and I get the answer. Or sometimes I just wake up with it. So you can do that too when you go to sleep, before you go to sleep at night. You can ask for answers to problems. You can ask for solutions, and you can be guided every step of the way. So what needs to happen to clear your clogs to tune into your intuition? And the first step is, again, the clearing. And it's essential to clear your energy in order for you to be able to clear the clogs, clear the limiting beliefs, clear the emotions. I know there are times where I need an answer. And I'm also going to say that if you're really trying so hard to get that answer, you got to let go. Because that's when it doesn't come. It's about learning to let go and surrender, but clearing the clogs. And Allie says, yes, I dreamed about my grandmother the night before she passed, and she said goodbye. Oh, thank you, Allie. And that can happen, that our loved ones can come to us before they pass to let us know. But I also want you to know that your loved ones come to you. If you can't hear, see, feel, or know that they're there, they may come to you in your dreams. And they may, when they're coming to you in your dreams, they're coming to give you messages or encouragement, or let you know that they love you and they're still with you. So really know that they're communicating with you through your dreams and clearing your clogs. So, what I'm going to ask, I would like to find out, put in the chat room, what's your favorite way to clear your clogs? I know what happens for me is if I'm feeling fear, if I'm feeling angry or even grief or another emotion like frustration, before I can even do a meditation, sometimes I need to do what I call emotional release. So, emotional release is just allowing yourself to feel. When you're grieving, or you need to cry, or you're feeling sad, cry. And sometimes you may not even know what it is you need. You may feel antsy. If you're one of those people, and I'm not antsy Nancy, not all the time. Sometimes I am. But how many of you feel antsy and then you're like, I don't know what to do? So if you're feeling antsy or you're stuck in your head, how many of you you're thinkers, think, and you can't stop thinking, and you're like, what do I do? How do I stop thinking? I want to calm down and meditate, or I want to calm down and pray. What do? Well, sometimes some of you may need to do exercise, and you may run. Sandy likes antsy Nancy. Marie says yes. and some of you may need to do yoga. How many of you are yoga? Darlene says, I clear clogs. I will cry. I will do some movement like yoga or dance. Yes. And meditate with chanting or breath. Sometimes I walk in nature, and those are all excellent ideas to calm yourself, because tapping into your intuition and you got to clear the clogs, got to clear the emotions. And sometimes, and it happens in different ways. So sometimes one way would work for you one day, and then sometimes another day it doesn't. Cindy says, I go for a drive and listen to really loud country music. Great. Thank you, Cindy. And I mean, all of you have just given so many important information on clearing the clogs, because music is so crucial to helping you shift your energy. I use music all the time. And so definitely listening to music can definitely help you shift, because that's what you want. You want to go from those feelings of fear or anger or grief, shame, guilt, to the higher vibrations of peace, love, and joy, because that's when you tap into your intuition. Carol says, I become clear by stretching and breathing in gentle poses, mostly on my back. Doing this now. Thank you, Carol. Again, stretching, breathing. These are all amazing ways of finding ways to clear your clogs and also come out of your head. So I'm just going to lay it on the line. You can't tap into your intuition. You can't even be aware of the gut feelings. I didn't even mention that before, but gut feelings are like huge ways that are ways that we get information. But if you're so in to the head, you can't hear or feel or know it. Marie says cat videos, and it made me smile because I love cats. I'm a definite cat lover. So I love those cats, and cat videos can be really funny. Or maybe you want to watch doggy videos or animal videos, funny videos. Laughing is helpful for me too. Videos are such a great way to shift your energy. Actually, speaking of videos, I'll give you a little secret of what I do in the morning. One of the things that I do is I go on YouTube and I turn to they have meditation or music that raises your vibration. One of my favorites, and I'm going to share, is Nature Healing Society. I believe that's the name. And it has really beautiful music and it has beautiful videos of nature. So even though I'm not out in nature, I'll put on the videos and I'll put on the music. And very often I end up meditating to that music. So that's one of the ways that I like to. And also on YouTube, you can do something called crystal or Tibetan bowls. And those bowls and the sounds and the vibrations of those bowls shift and alter your energy so that it helps you come out of your head and into your body. How many of you on the chat love the bowls? How many of you have ever tried the bowls? Crystal or Tibetan bowls? Tibetan bowls are amazing. Marie says Tibetan bowls. And the difference between them, from what I know, and I'm not an expert on this, but the difference is the Tibetan bowls are made of metal and they're actually smaller, although they do have different sizes. And crystal bowls, sometimes they're bigger and they're made out of crystals. So they each give a different sound. And I would play with it and go on YouTube and see which one resonates with you, because those are really good tools and ways to come out of your head and into your body. And then listening to the guidance. Ali says, I have Tibetan symbols. So are those the ones that you click and it comes together? I think that's what it is. Tell me yes if that's. Crystal bowls are lovely too and are available for different chakras. Yes, I know the crystal bowls are available for different chakras. Gong baths are awesome too, Darlene says. I attended a crystal bowl session, incredible. So crystal bowls are an amazing, or Tibetan bowls, gongs, any kind of sound is okay. Ali says yes. So they actually, I don't have them anymore. I used to have them in my other place, where they're by a string and there's two metal, and when you click them, they make a sound, and it's really powerful. It's another way to allow yourself to tune in and tap in. All of these are amazing ways to tune in and breathe. Breathing is one of the best ways to really quiet yourself, quiet your head, learning to quiet that mind of yours. And that is a process. And sometimes you have to do it many times or many different ways. Sometimes you may have to go through all the different things in order for you to get to that quiet state. So there's clearing. And then these are my 3 C's. The next C is connection. And it's learning to make that deeper connection. And I know I started the 3 principles with connection because it's all about connection. Connecting with yourself, connecting with the universe, connecting with your body, your mind, your emotions, your feelings. You've got to connect. And without that connection, you won't be able to tap into your intuition. And so I would like to hear from those in the chat room. How do you connect with yourself? What are the tools that you use to make that connection? And now the tools may be very similar to what we talked about with clearing, because very often the tools that clear will also help you to connect. And that way it's all fine. It's all good. And it's just finding what works for you or what works for you on that day. So anybody want to share what their tools of connection besides tuning into your feelings? And being able to feel meditation. Marie says meditation. Sandy says meditation or walking in nature. Amazing. All ways to connect and make that deeper connection with yourself, because that is key. Connecting and going deeper into the connection. And I also talk about connecting with what I call your higher self. And your higher self, the way that I describe your higher self is, here's our personality self. See, I like to use my hands, can you tell? Here's your personality self and here's your soul. And your higher self is the intermediary, the part of you that's wise and unconditionally loving. And it's the intermediary between your personality self and your soul. And it's there for the asking. And so when I work with clients, and Darlene says yoga, meditation, and sitting in silence, and I help clients to clear their energy. They'll come into a session. Like I had Emma, and she came into a session, and Emma was so angry and frustrated with her part-time job. And she needed to make a decision. She just didn't know what to do about her part-time job. And so we helped her. She processed through during the session her anger and her frustration. And then I had her connect with her higher self. And I asked her to ask her higher self, what is her highest and greatest good? Is it to stay in this part-time job, or is it to leave this part-time job? And Emma was able to come to a decision, a clear decision, by tuning into her higher self. And she made the decision to leave her part-time job. And her higher self said she would be okay. And she has been absolutely fine. Her higher self was right. And that is the power of connecting with the deeper or the higher levels of yourself. And they're there for the asking. They are there for the asking. All you have to do is ask the question. But sometimes you've got to ask the question in the right way. You want to ask an open-ended question. And I also support you in asking the question, what is for your highest and greatest good? Because that's the way you move towards your inspired and empowered life. The universe, your soul, your higher self, they all want that for you. But it's about asking the questions, because we have free will. And if we don't ask, then they can't give us answers. Sometimes, if it's life or death situations, they may step in, but usually we need to ask the questions. So you have the clearing and the connecting, and then it's listening for the communication. The communication of what is your guidance saying. For Emma, she was able to get that she was able to leave. And we have Terry Lee Reagan. What what if someone committed suicide? Okay, so Terry, what I want you to ask is, if someone, what is the question around that? Oh, or are you asking, is that for your highest and greatest good? See, I'm not sure of the question. So I want you to be more specific of what it is you would like to know, because I am totally wanting to answer that question, but I'm not clear what exactly you're asking. Or so, and I'm so definitely ask the question in a different way. See, and that's what happens with spirit too. See, this is perfect for what happens is, like, if spirit, if you're not clear with the question, then the question can't be answered, or your answers won't come in clear. And that's also why clearing is really important, because you have to have clear intention. Now, suicide, truthfully, suicide is not necessarily for the highest and greatest good. And suicide is usually what happens when someone feels so wrapped up in their emotions that they don't see any other way. And there's a hopeless and helpless. Do suicide people stay on as spirits? Okay, so what happens with suicide is sometimes when someone has had committed suicide, and this also happens with murder as well, the spirit, the soul gets confused and doesn't always go to the light. And so if that happens, then we need to help them, or you may want to bring somebody in to help the spirit go to the light, the soul to go to the light. Now, a lot of times, if the spirit is already in the light and they've gone to the light, then they may be there as a guide. I have a very close friend who had her son ended his life, and now he's a guide and he's an angel. And I've had many people that I know that after death they do become on as guides. So I'm making a distinction between those that have not gone to the light and those that are in the light, and it's a big difference. And so hopefully, Terry Lee, I hope that I answered your question. Let me know if that was the answer, and if you have any other questions that you would like to know. So, yes, thank you. Okay, help me understand. Good. I'm so glad, and I'm happy to answer any other questions any of you have. So, being able to clear your energy, connect more deeply, and receive the communications, the 3 C's. So now I'm going to ask, we're going to do an exercise. And one of my sentence completions, because I love the sentence completions and I love that it's a way for you to tap into you. So the sentence completion for today is, a way I can open to my intuition is. And a way I can open more to my intuition is. So allow yourself to just tap in, see what unfolds. What is a way that you can tap into your intuition more? What do you need to do that will help you tap in, tune in? A way I can tune into my intuition more, a way I can tap into my intuition more. So let me know, what is a way that would work for you. So allow yourself to really get in touch with being able to Tap in, tune in to that intuition, because that's what it's all about. And what do you need to do more? So Sandy says, a way I can open more is to stay curious, identify fear, ego, and trust faith and flow. So that is huge. Thank you, Sandy. So being able to stay curious, identify fear, really important, and trust faith and flow. Pay more attention to signs and really listen to my gut. Thank you, Marie. And that is really what it's about is paying more attention, awareness. When I talk about steps, awareness is an important step. In fact, it's the beginning step in any process, because if you are not in that awareness, you will miss the intuitions, the intuitive hits, the signs. And Terry Lee Reagan said, I sense things before they happen, and I'm mostly right about things, so I go with my senses. Great. So what it also sounds like is that you actually have learned to trust your senses. And the more, and that happens because the more you learn to listen and trust, the trust grows. So thank you, Terry Lee. Thank you for that. The trust grows and grows. And so it's learning to let it be a process. So now my next question, and this is important for your awareness so that you can then take steps to change it. A way you block your intuition is, what's a way you block your intuition? So tap in. See, tap into the chat room. Type in. What is a way that you block your intuition? Is it that you have a hard time trusting? Is that you're too busy in your head? Or is it that you're in go, 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 do mode? Because that happens a lot for us in our society. It's the go, 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 the do. And you're on this, you could be on the hamster wheel. Some of my clients talk about being on the hamster wheel. If you're in that hamster wheel situation, what happens is you don't allow yourself to be able to hear, feel, sense, know your intuition. Marie says, questioning the signs. Yeah, thank you, Marie. That happens. What happens is you get a sign or you get a hit, and then you start questioning it. You start doubting it. And the doubt brings you into that lower energy. And then you wonder, is this really even happening? And that's a block. Sandy says, I block my intuition when I stay super busy and live in chaos and especially fear of not being enough. Thank you, Sandy, because keeping busy, staying in the fear and not feeling enough, those are all, and that is something that many of us, I know I have it too, many of us have to deal with. And sometimes it's dealing with it day by day and sometimes moment by moment, is learning how to become aware, oh, I'm in this state. I've got to come out of it and come back in. Terry says, being in my own thoughts. Terry Lee says, being in my own thoughts. So thank you, Terry. And what happens is that when you get caught in your own thoughts, and sometimes I call it the spins, when you're spinning and spinning around in your thoughts, and it's really hard to come out. And so again, awareness, because you can't change something that you're not aware of. So learning to tap in and become aware is really crucial. So I really want to hear from those that are in the chat today. I would love to hear from you. What would you like to hear on future shows? So you have exercises, and know that if you aren't live, you can always come back to the podcast on iHeart, Apple, Pandora, Spotify. I was going to say Spotify. Nope. Spotify, Pandora, Apple, and iHeart. And there's many other places that you can hear the podcast. And you can also go back to YouTube. And what I want to hear from you is, what would you like to have shows on? I would really like to get information from you on what it is you want for an inspired and empowered life. Where are your challenges? What are the things that you would like in order to have a more inspired and empowered life? So type that into the chat room, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts. And I also want to share with you, I do have a meditation that can help you tune in using the 3 C's. And it's inspired and empoweredliving.com/meditation. And that meditation will use the 3 C's to help you make your best intuitive decisions using the 3-step process. Self-care would be a good topic. Okay, thank you. That's great. And anybody else, let me know what you'd like to hear. Self-care. What else? What else would you like to hear? Now, next week, we're going to do a show. Sandy says she would love to hear more about the Akashic records, past lives, and how past lives affect this life. Okay, I definitely will put that on my list. And I'm going to be making a list of all these different things. So definitely type them into the chat room. And you can download the meditation, inspiredandempoweredliving.com/meditation. And what this meditation does is help you clear your energy, connect more deeply, and receive the communication. So it's a really important step in for you moving forward to live your inspired and empowered life. And Marie says, I'm with Sandy, past lives and karma. Okay. Terry Lee says, what does Terry say? Getting over things that shouldn't be bothering. Like what kind of things? Tell me things about like what happens when you're in your spinning head and what you do, or what else? Tell me what else that are things that you feel like you want to. Now, I'm going to share with you next week's topic is how to stay calm in a chaotic world. So next week, join me for more inspired and empowered living on W4WN, Talk 4 TV and Talk 4 Radio, W4WN.com. You can listen live at 11 a.m. Eastern. And that way you can join with the chat and share this link, share this experience, bring your friends and let people know. The more the merrier. I want to hear from you. And we'll have more inspired and empowered living next week. I really wish you an inspired and empowered day and an inspired and empowered week. Have a great one, everybody. Goodbye for now.